Well, it's finally happened. Tesla has been granted a license to supply energy in the UK. That means that Elon Musk is about to go into direct competition with Octopus, British Gas, and EDF. But the real question is, will anybody actually switch? So what's actually happened? Well, Ofgem have granted Tesla Ventures UK a license to supply electricity after roughly 7 months of regulatory arguing. This included a public consultation and a massive number of objections from members of the public and industry stakeholders. Now, the license is being held by a company called Tesla Energy Ventures Limited. This is a UK subsidiary of Tesla UK. Now, Tesla already holds a UK electricity generation license. This was granted back in 2020. This allows them to generate and trade power into the energy market. Now, today, Tesla's presence in the generation market is mostly through battery storage and energy arbitrage. They don't actually generate the power themselves. So when electricity is cheap on the wholesale market, they buy it and store it in batteries. And when electricity is expensive, they release that energy to the grid and make a profit. Now, with this new license, it allows them to supply that energy directly to homes and businesses. Now, one important clarification, Tesla have only been granted a license to supply electricity. So any customers who are looking for a dual fuel tariff to supply electricity and gas are going to be sadly left out in the cold. Now, I should say at this point, I don't have any insider information. But if we take a look across the Atlantic, we might get a hint of what they're planning to do. The strategy is most likely an integrated energy ecosystem, similar to what Tesla already runs in Texas through its Tesla Electric Retail Energy Services. In Texas, the model works roughly like this. Customers install Tesla solar and/or a Powerwall, and Tesla becomes their energy provider. Now, this is all managed through the Tesla app. So again, if you've already got a car, you're well into that ecosystem. But the software in the Tesla app manages the integration between your solar panels, your batteries, maybe your car, and the energy provider. And the whole point of this is to either reduce your energy bills substantially or even possibly get you to a zero bill home. So using that Texas model, we can kind of predict what we think they're going to do here in the UK. And I think they're going to start with people with Tesla Powerwalls. They will use their software to charge your Powerwall batteries when wholesale energy prices are low. They will then feed that power back into your house to avoid you having to buy expensive energy, specifically at the peak times of the day. And then they will export energy back to the grid when energy prices are at a sufficient level to make a profit. Now, by aggregating thousands of homes that have Powerwalls together, they build what they call a VPP, or a virtual power plant. This allows them to trade energy on a large scale and then use that to optimize the cost for their customers. So to begin with, it looks like this offering is going to be targeted at customers who already have Tesla Powerwall 3s, maybe Tesla electric vehicles, have maybe chargers that are going to be compatible with their service, and again, have their energy supplied by Tesla. So if you have all of those, you've ticked all the boxes, you're going to be a very likely customer for Tesla marketing to reach out to you in the very near future. But the whole point of the VPP system is to try and minimize the electricity bill for the homeowner. To get it as close to zero or maybe even below zero is the goal. But on the back end, Tesla also use your Powerwall to build this VPP that also makes them a profit. So Tesla are just going to waltz into the UK. Lots of customers are going to switch to them. They're going to make a profit and they're going to have a whole load of happy customers. Well, it's not quite that easy because the way our wholesale energy market in the UK is constructed, energy suppliers buy their energy months or sometimes even years in advance on the wholesale market. They hedge based on known existing customer demand. But Tesla are starting with 0 customers. That means they don't yet know how many customers they'll have, how much electricity those customers will use, and more importantly, when they will use it. Now, if Tesla forecasts demand incorrectly because they just don't have the data to build a picture of what their customers are going to use, they're going to have to buy energy at the last minute on the balancing market. And that can be crazy expensive. The larger suppliers avoid this risk because they have millions of customers who create predictable demand patterns. This means they can be pretty certain when they go to the market and say, we need to buy this much energy this many months in advance, that they're going to be pretty on the mark. Tesla won't have that advantage initially. Now, Tesla do have one advantage over all of the smaller energy providers that are out there, because on day one, although they will have no customers, they do have a large number of Powerwall and Tesla vehicle owners who they can market this product to. So I would fully expect the day this goes live for my Tesla app on my phone to start pinging me about, hey, we would love to be your energy provider. To become a meaningful supplier, they need to acquire hundreds of thousands of customers, because in the energy industry, scale matters. Once you've got scale, demand forecasting becomes easier, wholesale hedging becomes cheaper, and balancing costs fall. And this is where they can start to make money. Without scale, energy providing becomes a high risk business. So obviously the big question is, will customers actually switch? Well, just recently, because of all the troubles in the Middle East, a lot of companies have introduced exit fees. This means that if you want to change tariffs and you haven't been on that tariff for the agreed amount of time, whether it be 6 months, a year, 2 years, you have to pay a fee upfront to be able to change tariffs or providers. Now, customers will have to take that fee into account to decide, am I actually going to make money by switching to Tesla? This could be the worst time for Tesla to be entering this market. Then there's going to be a whole series of customers who today are dual fuel customers who are going to have to make the decision, am I going to have a different provider for my gas to my electricity? Now, that's not the end of the world, but with a lot of providers, there is a customer loyalty factor in there where you get a reduction for being a dual fuel customer. Obviously, if you're losing that coupled with an exit fee, will Tesla Energy be actually any cheaper for you? And really the biggest thing I think which will at least give customers pause for thought is trust and stability. Do you trust that this company will be a good steward as your energy provider? And do you think that they will be stable? When they're a small energy provider and they only have a few thousand customers, they're going to be at the mercy of the market. And we've seen too many small energy companies go by the wayside and us have to pick up the bills because they just didn't have the scale to be able to compete. Customers generally prioritize predictable bills, reliable service, and stability over who actually provides them. To be honest, most customers don't really care about the company that provides their bills, so long as they're predictable, they're reliable, and they're a stable company. Then we come to the elephant in the room, the Elon Musk factor. Now, Elon Musk is one of the most polarizing figures in business today. Some people see him as a visionary inventor, others see him as controversial or politically outspoken. This could either attract customers or totally discourage them from switching to Tesla Energy. Now, I've always said, don't judge a company just on the celebrity CEO. Just because you might disagree with somebody's politics doesn't mean that they deliver a good product or a good service. And generally, these companies have thousands, if not tens of thousands of employees who are all doing a good job and delivering a good product. So it's, if you can, try and separate Elon Musk, the character, from Elon Musk's companies. But generally, certainly in my case, I think Tesla makes some very good cars. Now, Tesla could treat energy supply here in the UK as a gateway product. They could build the customer base first, running at a loss, and supplementing it from revenues from their electric vehicles, their battery systems, their energy management software, and their energy arbitraging in the wholesale market. And this raises the possibility that Tesla might price energy in a very aggressive way to grow its customer base. Now, with Tesla coming into this market, there are going to be winners and losers. People with a full Tesla ecosystem, so if you have a Tesla EV, a Powerwall, maybe solar on the roof, you're going to be an ideal customer who is pre-positioned at the beginning to be a winner should Tesla come into this market very aggressively. Now, there are also going to be losers because the UK energy market is effectively a zero-sum game. There are not that many new greenfield customers coming into the market. So if Tesla are winning market share, they're taking it from somewhere else. So we could see Octopus and Eon and EDF having to compete with Tesla, which could be good for all customers by driving down the cost of energy. So Tesla entering the UK market is a major event. Whether you like Tesla or you despise Tesla, they are going to be a player in this market in the very near future. But they are going to have to overcome some really big hurdles. They're going to start with zero customers. They're only available to supply electricity. There are going to be barriers for customers switching, whether it be exit fees or losing the dual fuel allowances that some providers offer. And they're going to be at risk of pricing in the wholesale market. So that's it. Tesla are now licensed to be a UK electricity supplier. Now, I don't know when they're going to start bringing products to market, but I don't think it's going to be too long. Now, they're going to have some real challenges in the early years, and we've talked about most of those throughout this video. But Tesla doesn't generally get into a market to be a me too player. Elon is known for being very disruptive. They could transform the UK energy market, or they may discover that supplying electricity is far harder to disrupt than selling cars. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know a number of you have reached out and you're all primed, ready to switch. But what about the rest of you? Do you think that they will come to market with an offering that would tempt you to become a Tesla customer? Let me know in the comments below. With that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. It does mean the world to me. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.